Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. Today I am going to talk about this exam called CMAT. As you know, CMAT is one of the exams that people do target when they are trying to do MBA from a good business school. So what kind of an exam is CMAT? I'm going to give you complete insight into this in this particular session. So let's get started and let's first and foremost get a basic introduction about this exam called CMAT. But before I do that, I would like to take a step back and I want to explain the advantages of writing other exams apart from CAT. So in time we have coined a term called OMITS. Now, what does OMITS stands for? Other Management Entrance Test. So other than CAT, whatever rest of the exams that you have, for instance, we have an exam called XAT, we have an exam called SNAP, NMAT, all these exams collectively we have coined a term called OMITS for this. So why should we write all these exams? What are the advantages of writing OMITS? Let's understand that. To start with, few excellent business schools accept OMITS course. For example, there is a business school called XLRI. I'm sure you have heard of this, right? Now, XLRI will give you admissions on the basis of your performance in XAT. Similarly, we have a business school called SIBM Pune. Now, SIBM Pune will give you admissions on the basis of SNAP performance. Similarly, NMIMS Mumbai is there, which admits students on the basis of NMAT scores. So, point I'm trying to make here is you get access to some of the excellent business schools when you write other exams apart from CAT. So, this is the first reason why you should consider writing other exams other than CAT. The other reason, of course, is these exams, they happen after CAT, right? For example, in case of NMAT, yes, they have a long test window and actually the test window begins before CAT, but the window continues after CAT also. And rest of the exams like XAT, CMAT, MAT, and in fact there's an exam called IPSAT. All these exams, they take place after CAT gets over. So you get additional time for preparation if you write other exams. In fact, I would say CMAT is the best option in this regard because CMAT exam is the last exam that you can write in India if you want to do MBA from a good business school. CMAT exam happens pretty late. Last year it happened in the month of May. So CMAT gives you extra time for preparation, and in fact people, when they don't do well in any of the exams, if you haven't been able to crack CAT, XAT, SNAP, NMAT, then CMAT will be the last option that you can consider if you want to do MBA in the next coming academic year itself. So that's another advantage of writing other exams apart from CAT. Then of course, if you compare the syllabus of these exams with CAT, you will notice that the syllabus more or less is pretty much similar. Of course, there are some variations, there are some differences, but more or less it is similar. Only few extra areas would be there that you can prepare very easily within a short span of time. That makes it all the more reason for you to consider writing other exams also. Last but not the least, if you have made up your mind that you should do an MBA program in the coming academic year, then these exams, they'll provide you with excellent backup option. So good fallback option you will have if you write other exams. You don't have to write CAT again. You can definitely go ahead and do MBA program in the next coming academic year itself, even if CAT doesn't go well, because they will serve the purpose of having a good backup option. So these are some of the reasons why I strongly recommend to everyone that you should consider writing other exams also and not just focus on CAT alone. Now, let's talk about CMAT. Now, what kind of an exam is this? See, Common Management Admission Test, popularly known as CMAT, this is a national level entrance exam. And this exam was originally conducted by AICTE. In fact, till 2018, they were the ones who administered the exam. But after 2018, NTA, National Testing Agency, they took over the responsibility of conducting CMAT. So CMAT originally was meant for admission into MBA programs of all AICTE affiliated colleges. But remember, while majority of them, they do accept CMAT, there are quite a few AICT approved colleges which don't accept CMAT scores also. Later on in this video, I'll take you through which are the good ones which are accepting CMAT. Now, what is the eligibility criteria for appearing for this entrance exam? Friends, the candidate must hold a bachelor's degree. That means a candidate should either have completed a graduation degree or the candidate should be in the final year of graduation. So either you should have completed graduation or you should be in final year of graduation, then you are eligible to appear for CMAT. Of course, there is one additional condition. The people who want to appear for this exam, they need to be citizen of India as such. So only citizen of India, they are eligible to appear for CMAT entrance exam. Now, what is pattern of CMAT? See, CMAT exam has a very interesting pattern. This exam is a lengthy 3-hour exam. Remember, the duration of the exam is 3 hours. Now, why am I highlighting this at the beginning itself? Because remember, the lengthier the exam, the more should be the mental stamina that a student should have. CAT is just a 2-hour exam, whereas exams like CMAT and XAT, these are 3-hour exams, so they do need more amount of stamina, mental stamina and focus when you appear for the exam. So if you are planning to write CMAT exam, it's advisable that you write few mock CMAT exam so that you improve your mental stamina and you should be able to concentrate for entire duration of 3 hours. This exam will have 100 questions in them, and these 100 questions will appear from 5 sections. Now, what are the sections that you have in CMAT? The first section, they call it quantitative techniques and data interpretation. Quantitative techniques basically refers to mathematics. Remember, they check only school level mathematics. They don't go beyond school level. And few questions from data interpretation may also appear. While major chunk of questions are from mathematics, some questions are from data interpretation, and every section in CMAT will have 20 questions each. The next section is logical reasoning. Now, logical reasoning, while you do get questions which are based on puzzles the way you are expecting in CAT exam, but then other than that, CMAT would also have additional topics. Topics like series, analogies, coding, decoding, odd man out. There's a long list. You do need to prepare for these additional topics also if you are planning to write CMAT exam. Once again, 20 questions will appear from here. Then we have got language comprehension, which is nothing but English. So English would also be tested. What kind of questions you will have in English? A broad variety of questions. It could be reading comprehension based questions, sentence correction based questions could also be there, vocabulary based questions could also appear. Again, 20 questions will appear from here. Now, these 3 areas that we have discussed so far, if you observe, they are there in your CAT syllabus also. Now we move on to the last 2 sections which are not there in CAT pattern. These are additional areas that you need to prepare when you compare with CAT. One of them is general awareness, general knowledge. And of course, main focus of this section would be on current affairs. 20 questions will appear from here. But the most interesting section is innovation and entrepreneurship. This is unique as far as all the exams are concerned. CMAT is perhaps the only exam which focuses on innovation and entrepreneurship. Here, you will have 20 questions which will be related to the field of entrepreneurship. So here you may have questions related to current affairs, related to business world. They may also create questions which test your awareness about basic terminology associated with innovation and entrepreneurship. So that is how the entire exam has been designed. 20 questions in each of these sections, totally 100 questions. Remember, the marking scheme is very interesting. Every question in CMAT will have 4 marks weightage. That means if you get all 100 correct, maximum marks you can score in CMAT becomes 400. But if you get a question wrong, then 1 mark will be deducted. So 1/4 negative marking will be there, 1 mark will be deducted. So every wrong answer, your 1 mark will vanish. That's the reason it's advisable that you never guess in CMAT exam. Never guess, because it has got negative marking in place. If you randomly guess, then whatever marks you might have acquired based on your right answers, you would lose part of it because of negative marking. So always mark your answer only when you are 100% sure of it. So this is pattern of CMAT exam. Now, what are the likely dates of CMAT? Because so far notification has not yet come out, so I'm going to give you last year important dates. So the last date to apply for CMAT last year was 18th of April, whereas the exam itself took place, as I said earlier also, in May 2024. So we can expect similar kind of timeline next time also. But still it's advisable for you to go through the notification whenever it comes out. When will it come out? See, we expect it to come out somewhere in March 2025. Can we be sure of it? Obviously not. But that is the likely date. So I would say from February onwards, keep an eye on it so that you don't miss out the notification. Of course, we upload notification of all the exams on our website, timenumericalforeducation.com. You can also visit our website and go through the notifications so that you don't miss it. So this is about the important dates that were there last year. Now, what about the application fees? How much money do they charge if somebody wants to appear for CMAT? See, last year, male candidates who belong to general category, male applicants, they had to pay an application fee of 2,000 rupees. Only general category, male, had to pay 2,000 rupees. Everybody else, what do I mean by everybody else? General category females, then OBC NC category applicants, EWS category applicants, SC applicants, ST applicants, differently abled applicants, and transgender applicants, all of them, they had to pay 1,000 rupees as application fee for writing CMAT exam. So this is how CMAT exam charged application fee from the applicants. Now, which are the good business schools that accept CMAT scores? See, IFMR is a good option. Now, this is now KREA University. Now, it's called KREA University. It's situated in Andhra Pradesh. So, under this university, you have a business school, IFMR. It's a very old business school. It's a pretty good business school. They have an average salary of somewhere around 13 lakhs per annum. It's a good place to target if you are planning to write CMAT. Similarly, we have got KJ Somaya, another old business school in Mumbai. They offer several PGDM programs. They also accept CMAT scores. ICFI Business School, they have a lot of campuses across India. Better campuses are in Hyderabad and Mumbai. They also accept CMAT. Other than that, BIMTech Noida can also be considered. They also accept CMAT scores. So there are a variety of business schools that we have. Other than this, we have got business schools like Fortune, Fostima, right? We have a business school like Kirloskar or IP, Vignan Jyoti, right? There are a lot of business schools other than this also which accept CMAT scores. They can also be considered if you are planning to write CMAT. Now, how do you prepare for CMAT? Because compared to CAT, there are some differences. Let me highlight those differences. Let's start with section on language comprehension. Now, it will have 20 questions in it. There will be 20 questions which will appear in this section. Now, most of the questions, they are tilted towards critical reasoning. What do I mean by critical reasoning? See, you will have questions based on strengthening the arguments, weakening the argument, or inference-based questions will be there. So you do need to have good grasp of basic concepts associated with critical reasoning. That is pretty important. So apart from this, remember, you also need to prepare for reading comprehension. You also need to prepare for sentence correction, because sentence correction is one area which generally doesn't get tested in CAT. So students tend to ignore the grammatical preparation, grammar preparation. I strongly recommend, if you are planning to write CMAT, you also go through the grammar basics. If you are a student of time, we have provided you with a textbook on grammar. Make sure you go through it without fail. So the sentence correction questions are pretty common. Other than this, Your vocabulary based questions also appear frequently. Synonyms, antonyms, they also appear in CMAT exam. So do make sure you work on your English vocabulary also. The reading comprehension itself compared to CAT is usually much easier because the passages are a little shorter. Hardly a paragraph would be there. Even the themes that they choose are relatively easier when you compare with CAT exam. But still, some of the questions given underneath may be very tricky. The options may be very close. So it's advisable that you work on reading comprehension skills also. Coming to mathematics and data interpretation. Here, I would say more or less your CAT preparation is more than sufficient. But having said that, you have to focus on certain chapters. Chapters like trigonometry, basically heights and distances, statistics, coordinate geometry, quadratic equations, progressions, permutations and combinations, probability and number systems. Do focus on these chapters. Now, does it mean questions will only appear from these chapters? Not really. But in past, quite a few questions have appeared from these chapters. So you have to prepare for every single chapter that is there in time study material. But having said so, you should not ignore any of these chapters. Moving on to logical reasoning. While puzzles are there in CMAT exam also, you do get puzzles based on areas like linear arrangement or let's say circular arrangement or distribution or binary logic or selections, Venn diagrams. These are all areas that you have already prepared for CAT exam. But other than these areas, you need to prepare for additional topics also. What kind of topics am I talking about? Questions based on number series, number analogies, letter series, letter analogies, coding decoding, odd man out, direction sense, clocks, calendars, blood relations, input output. There are a lot of topics. If you are a student of time, on your student homepage, you will see 2 textbooks of logical reasoning. One of them contains the puzzles that I mentioned earlier, but the other textbook that time has provided, it would contain all the topics that are not there usually in CAT exam, but you do need to prepare them for exams like CMAT. So definitely ensure that you spend adequate amount of time with the second textbook of logical reasoning. Now, moving on to general awareness and innovation and entrepreneurship. Let's start with innovation and entrepreneurship. The last section, it would have questions which will test your awareness about basic terms associated with entrepreneurship. Terms like seed money, break-even point, or let's say round zero funding, or let's say bankruptcy, insolvency, basic terms associated with entrepreneurship. Other than this, they also sometimes test your knowledge about current affairs related to entrepreneurship. So some important merger must have happened between a couple of companies. A question can be created based on that. Somebody has been appointed as new CEO of a certain company. A question can be created on that. Some question can be created based on rules related to entrepreneurship in India. So it's very important that you read newspapers also. Other than that, time has provided you with these handouts. These handouts will give you good preparation for this area of entrepreneurship and innovation. So definitely go through these handouts without fail if you are planning to write CMAT exam. Other than this, remember, for general awareness also you need to prepare. For helping you with your general awareness preparation, we have been providing you with a magazine called Education and Career magazine. This magazine, which is uploaded on your student homepage, it contains excellent inputs for exams like CMAT, XAT, which have got a section on current affairs. So go through our magazine on a regular basis. Other than this, newspaper reading is absolutely must. You can also refer to Manorama and CSR magazine for stock type of questions which will help you in your preparation for this section. So this is how you can crack these areas. Last but definitely not the least, you do need to write omits that we have provided for CMAT. So on your student homepage, you will have a separate tab called omits. Click on it. All the mocks that have been designed for other exams apart from CAT will be listed out there. make sure you appear for some of them before you write actual exam, because remember, you do need to have a good test taking strategy. You do need to learn how to manage the time in these exams, because exams like CMAT, they don't have sectional time limit. So that will be a new experience for you. If you have been preparing for CAT, you are used to time limits, sectional time limits. But in CMAT, there are no sectional time limits. So writing mocks so that you familiarize yourself with not only the pattern of the exam, structure of the exam, but also it will help you in identifying your strengths and weaknesses and working upon them. So I strongly recommend you write OMETs for CMAT without fail as such. This will help you in getting a good amount of idea about what CMAT exam is all about. So friends, I hope today I was able to give you complete insight about this exam called CMAT. And if in case you don't do very well in some of the other exams and you want a backup option, do consider CMAT, because it will give you a lot of extra time for preparation and you would be able to realize your dream of making it to a good business school from the next academic year onwards. With this, we have come to the end of this session. All the best, everyone. Take care.